The gallery was packed. 300 people milled around the pristine white walls, champagne glasses in hand, admiring the paintings that had taken me 5 years to create. The collection was called Betrayal. Each piece was a portrait, distorted, fragmented, beautiful in its pain. My best friend. My boyfriend. The life I thought I had. The critics were calling it brilliant. Devastating. A searing examination of trust and its destruction. They had no idea how literal it was. I stood in the center of the room, wearing a black dress that cost more than my first car, accepting congratulations from strangers who would never know my real name. To them, I was just the artist. The mystery. The woman who'd appeared out of nowhere with a collection that had taken the art world by storm. And then I saw them. Maya and Derek. Standing by the exit, trying to slip out unnoticed. They looked different than I remembered. Maya's perfect blonde hair had grown out, showing dark roots. Derek had gained weight, his expensive suit straining at the seams. They looked tired, stressed, broken, just like they'd left me. I excused myself from the critic I was talking to and walked toward them. The crowd parted before me like I was royalty. In this world, in this moment, I was Maya. Derek. My voice was calm, pleasant, the voice of a host greeting guests. I'm so glad you could make it. Maya's face went pale. Derek's hand tightened on her arm. We didn't know it was you, Maya stammered. The invitation said anonymous. The gallery wouldn't tell us. I know. That was the point. I gestured to the painting behind me. A massive canvas showing 2 figures intertwined, their faces obscured by shadows. It was called The Lovers. It was the centerpiece of the collection. Do you like it? I asked. I painted it from memory. Maya looked at the painting, then at me, and I saw the moment she understood. Her eyes widened. Her hand flew to her mouth. Oh my God, Chloe, don't. My voice was still calm, but there was steel underneath. Don't say you're sorry. Don't say you didn't mean to hurt me. Don't say any of the things you said 3 years ago when you destroyed my life. I stepped closer, close enough to smell Maya's perfume. The same scent she'd been wearing the night I caught them together. Instead, I said softly, let me tell you what you're looking at. I gestured to the walls around us. This collection sold for $2 million before the opening. The gallery has requests from museums in New York, London, Paris. I'm being interviewed by the New York Times tomorrow. I smiled. A real smile, one that reached my eyes. And it's all because of you. Because you betrayed me. Because you broke me. Because you forced me to find out what I was really made of. Maya was crying now. Derek was staring at the floor. So thank you, I said. Thank you for destroying my old life. It made room for something so much better. I turned to walk away, then paused. Oh, and Maya? The painting you're standing next to? It's called The Confession. I painted it from the email you sent me. The one where you admitted everything. The gallery has a buyer already. A collector who specializes in artistic documentation of personal trauma. I leaned in, my voice dropping to a whisper. You got exactly what you asked for, Maya. You just didn't know you were asking for this. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I met Maya Torres when we were both 19, freshmen at the Rhode Island School of Design. She was everything I wasn't. Confident, beautiful, effortlessly cool. She wore vintage clothes that looked like they'd been tailored for her. She talked to professors like they were peers. She had a tattoo of a bird on her wrist that she'd gotten in Barcelona the summer before college. I was shy, awkward, desperately insecure about my art. I'd grown up in a small town in Ohio, the daughter of a mechanic and a waitress. I'd never been out of the country. I'd never even been to New York. Maya decided we were going to be friends on our 3rd day of classes. You're Chloe, right? She sat down next to me in the cafeteria, her tray loaded with food she wouldn't eat. I saw your sketches in life drawing. You're really good. Thanks. I like your work too. No, you don't. She laughed. It's pretentious garbage. But I'm pretty, so professors give me good grades anyway. I didn't know what to say to that. Maya laughed again and grabbed my hand. Come on. Let's get out of here. I know a place that sells real coffee, not this cafeteria sludge. That was how it started. Maya swept into my life like a hurricane, turning everything upside down. She introduced me to artists and musicians and writers. She took me to galleries and clubs and underground parties. She taught me how to dress, how to talk, how to be interesting. You're too good for Ohio, Chloe, she told me one night, drunk on cheap wine in her dorm room. You're going to be famous someday. I can feel it. I'm not that good, Maya. You're better than you know. You just need confidence. And I'm going to give it to you. She did. Over the next 4 years, Maya built me up. She critiqued my work honestly, pushing me to be better. She introduced me to gallery owners and collectors. She convinced me to enter competitions, to apply for grants, to believe in myself. By the time we graduated, I had a portfolio that was getting attention. A small gallery in Brooklyn wanted to represent me. An art critic from the Village Voice had written a paragraph about my senior show, calling me promising. And I had Derek. Derek Hale was Maya's friend first. They'd grown up together in Connecticut, children of wealthy families who summered in the same places. He was handsome in a preppy way, blonde, blue-eyed, with a smile that made you feel like you were the only person in the room. You should date him, Maya told me our junior year. He's perfect for you. He's your friend. Wouldn't that be weird? Please. Derek and I are like siblings. It would be weirder if you didn't date him. Besides, he likes you. He's been asking about you for weeks. So I said yes when Derek asked me out. And it was good. He was kind, attentive, supportive of my art. He came to my shows and bought my paintings and told me I was talented. You're going to be famous, Chloe, he said, repeating Maya's words. I can feel it. For 3 years, we were a couple. Maya, Derek, and me, the inseparable trio. We went to parties together, took trips together, spent holidays together. Maya was my best friend. Derek was my boyfriend. I thought I had everything. I was wrong. I found out on a Tuesday. Derek had told me he was going to Boston for a business trip. He worked in finance, something to do with investments that I never really understood. He kissed me goodbye at 6 in the morning, told me he loved me, said he'd be back on Friday. That night, I was supposed to have dinner with Maya. She'd been acting strange lately, distant, distracted, canceling plans at the last minute. I was worried about her. I thought maybe she was depressed, or having problems with her family, or struggling with her art. I went to her apartment to surprise her with takeout and wine. I had a key, she'd given it to me years ago, told me I was the sister she never had. I let myself in. The apartment was dark except for the bedroom light. I could hear music playing, something soft and romantic. I could smell candles. Maya. I called out. It's me. I brought food. No answer. Just the music. Just the sound of movement, of breathing. I walked to the bedroom door. It was slightly open. I pushed it. And I saw them. Maya and Derek. In her bed. Together. They didn't see me at first. They were occupied. Kissing, touching, whispering things I couldn't hear and didn't want to. I stood there for what felt like an hour. My best friend. My boyfriend. The two people I trusted most in the world, betraying me in the most fundamental way possible. Finally, Maya looked up. She saw me in the doorway. Her eyes went wide. Chloe, she gasped. Oh my God, Chloe, I can explain. Don't. My voice sounded strange to my own ears. Flat. Empty. Don't explain. Derek turned around. His face went white. Chloe, it's not what you think. We were just what? Just sleeping together? Just lying to me for? How long? How long has this been going on? They looked at each other. That look, that guilty, complicit look, told me everything. 3 years, Maya whispered. Since before you started dating. We never meant. We didn't want to hurt you. 3 years. I repeated the words like I was trying to understand them. You've been sleeping together for 3 years. While I was dating him. While you were my best friend. Chloe, please, Derek begged. We love each other. We tried to stop, we really did, but we couldn't. And we didn't know how to tell you. So you didn't. I laughed, a horrible broken sound. You just kept lying. Kept pretending. Kept using me. We weren't using you. Maya stood up, wrapping a sheet around herself. We love you, Chloe. You're our best friend. We fell in love. It happened. We couldn't help it. You couldn't help it. I looked at her, really looked at her, for the first time in years. You introduced us, Maya. You told me to date him. Was that part of the plan? Keep me close so you could keep sleeping with him behind my back? No. It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? I screamed, my calm finally breaking. Tell me, Maya. Tell me what it was like to lie to my face every day, to watch me fall in love with a man who was sleeping with you, to pretend to be my friend while you were destroying my life. Maya was crying now. Derek was trying to get dressed, fumbling with his clothes, avoiding my eyes. We're sorry, Maya sobbed. We're so sorry, Chloe. We never wanted to hurt you. We were going to tell you, we swear. We didn't know how. Get out. My voice was quiet again. Dangerous. Both of you. Get out of my sight. Chloe, please. Get out. They left. They grabbed their things and ran past me like I was a ghost, like I was nothing, like I was the one who'd done something wrong. I stood in Maya's apartment. The apartment where I'd spent countless nights, where I'd shared my deepest secrets, where I'd thought I was safe, and I realized I had nothing. No best friend. No boyfriend. No one. I sank to the floor and I cried. I cried until I couldn't breathe. I cried until my throat was raw and my eyes were swollen shut. And then when the tears finally stopped, I made a decision. I was going to destroy them. Revenge, I realized, is an art form. It requires patience, planning, precision. If I confronted Maya and Derek, if I screamed at them, if I told everyone what they'd done, I would look like the crazy ex-girlfriend. The bitter, scorned woman who couldn't move on. No. If I wanted to really hurt them, I had to be smarter. I had to let them think they'd won. I had to wait until they were comfortable, secure, convinced that they'd gotten away with it. And then I would strike. But first, I had to rebuild myself. I left New York. I couldn't stay there, surrounded by memories of Maya and Derek, running into them at galleries and parties, pretending I was fine when I was dying inside. I moved to a small town in Maine. I rented a cabin on the coast, far from everyone I knew. I brought my paints and my canvases and my broken heart, and I started to work. I painted everything I felt. The betrayal, the rage, the grief, the desperate, aching loneliness of being abandoned by the people you loved most. I painted for a year without showing anyone. I painted until my fingers bled, until I ran out of canvas, until I'd filled the cabin with images of my pain. And slowly something changed. The pain didn't go away, but it transformed. It became useful. It became fuel. It became the raw material for something greater than myself. My art changed. It deepened. It acquired a power it had never had before, a raw, visceral honesty that came from genuine suffering. I started showing again. Small galleries at first, then larger ones. Critics noticed. Collectors noticed. My work started selling, first for hundreds, then thousands, then tens of thousands. I built a reputation, a following, a career. And all the while I watched Maya and Derek. Social media is a wonderful thing for someone seeking revenge. I created fake accounts. I followed Maya and Derek's public profiles. I watched their lives unfold in curated, filtered images. They were still together. They'd moved in together, gotten a dog, started posting about their perfect life. Maya's art career had stalled. She was working as a graphic designer for a marketing firm, creating ads for insurance companies. Derek had been promoted at his finance job, but he'd also gained weight and lost hair. He looked stressed, unhappy. Good. I dug deeper. I found their friends, their colleagues, their families. I learned their routines, their weaknesses, their fears. Maya was insecure about her art. She'd always been the pretty one, the popular one, but she'd never had real talent. She knew it, deep down. She knew that I'd always been the better artist, that her success had been built on connections and charm rather than skill. Derek was insecure about his masculinity. He'd grown up rich and sheltered, never having to work for anything. He was terrified of failure, of being seen as less than his father, of not measuring up. I filed this information away. I would use it. Eventually. But first, I had to become undeniable. Over the next 3 years, my career exploded. I had a solo show in Boston that sold out in 2 hours. A critic from Art Forum called me the most important new voice in contemporary painting. I was invited to speak at universities, to judge competitions, to sit on panels with artists I'd idolized as a student. I moved back to New York, not to the cramped apartment I'd shared with Derek, but to a loft in Soho with floor-to-ceiling windows and a view of the city. I changed my look. I cut my hair short and dyed it black. I wore only black and white. I cultivated an air of mystery, refusing to give interviews, letting my art speak for itself. I became someone Maya and Derek wouldn't recognize, someone they couldn't ignore. And then, when I was ready, I set my trap. The gallery I'd been working with for years, Marchetti Contemporary, was opening a new space in Chelsea. They wanted to do something special for the inaugural show, something that would make a statement. "We want you," Marco Marchetti told me over lunch. "A major solo show. Whatever you want to create. We'll give you complete control." "I have an idea," I said. "A collection about betrayal, about trust and its destruction, about the people who destroy us, and how we rise from the ashes." Marco leaned forward, his eyes gleaming. "Tell me more." I told him everything. Not the details. Marco didn't need to know about Maya and Derek. But the concept. The emotion. The raw, personal truth that would make the collection unforgettable. "It's risky," Marco said when I finished. "Personal work can be uncomfortable." "It's necessary," I replied. "Art should be uncomfortable. It should make you feel something." He smiled. "You're right. Let's do it." I spent the next year creating the collection. 12 paintings, each one a portrait of betrayal. The lovers. The confession. The lies. The discovery. The grief. The rage. The rebuilding. The triumph. I painted Maya and Derek without using their faces. Abstracted, distorted, recognizable only to those who knew what to look for. I painted our apartment, our favorite places, the moments of our friendship and my relationship that they'd poisoned. And I painted myself. Over and over. Broken and rebuilt. Destroyed and triumphant. When it was done, I had something extraordinary. Something that would break hearts and win awards and cement my place in the art world forever. Something that would destroy Maya and Derek. The invitations went out 6 weeks before the opening. They were simple, elegant, mysterious. No artist name. Just a date, a time, and an address. And a note. Anonymous. A collection about betrayal. I made sure Maya and Derek received invitations. I had a friend of a friend mention it to Maya at a party. I knew she wouldn't be able to resist. She was still trying to be an artist, still trying to prove she belonged in that world. She would come. She would bring Derek. And they would walk into my trap. The night of the opening, I arrived early. I dressed in black, did my makeup to look pale and ethereal, put on the diamond earrings I'd bought with the proceeds from my first major sale. I was ready. The gallery filled quickly. Critics, collectors, artists, socialites, all the people who mattered in the New York art world. They moved from painting to painting, murmuring, analyzing, feeling. I watched from the corner, waiting. And then I saw them. Maya and Derek. Walking in together, holding hands, trying to look like they belonged. Maya was wearing a dress that was trying too hard. Derek's suit didn't fit right. They started looking at the paintings. I watched their faces change as they moved through the collection. Confusion. Recognition. Dawning horror. They knew. They knew it was me. They knew this was about them. I waited until they reached the final painting. The Triumph. A self-portrait of me standing alone, strong, unbroken. Then I made my move. You know what happened next. The show was a sensation. The New York Times called it a masterpiece of personal expression. Art Forum said it redefines the boundaries between autobiography and art. Collectors fought to buy pieces. Museums begged for loans. And the mystery of the artist's identity only fueled the hype. Who was this anonymous? Why wouldn't they reveal themselves? What had happened to inspire such pain, such rage, such triumph? I gave my first interview a month after the opening. I told my story, not all of it, but enough. The best friend. The boyfriend. The betrayal. The rebuilding. I didn't name names. I didn't have to. Maya and Derek knew. Everyone who knew us knew. Maya lost her job at the marketing firm. Turns out, her boss's wife was an art collector who'd bought one of my paintings. When she realized who Maya was, who she'd been to me, she made sure Maya was let go. Derek's engagement to Maya ended. The shame was too much. He moved back to Connecticut, back to his parents' house, back to the life he'd been trying to escape. Maya tried to make a statement. She posted on social media, claiming she was the victim, that I'd weaponized our friendship, that I was obsessed with her and Derek. No one believed her. The comments were brutal. You got what you deserved. Karma is real. Imagine betraying your best friend and then playing the victim. She deleted her accounts. She moved to California. I don't know what she's doing now. I don't care. It's been a year since the opening. I'm still painting. Still creating. Still building my career and my life. I've forgiven Maya and Derek. Not for their sake, but for mine. Holding on to anger is exhausting. It poisons everything. But I haven't forgotten. And I don't regret what I did. They needed to know that their actions had consequences. That betrayal isn't free. That the people you hurt don't just disappear. They rise. They rebuild. They become something you never expected. Something stronger. Something better. Something unstoppable. I think about them sometimes. Not with anger but with distance. Like they're characters in a story I read long ago. People I once knew, in a life I once lived. That life is over. This one is so much better. I have friends now. Real friends, who don't lie or manipulate or betray. I have a career that I built with my own hands. I have a home that's truly mine. I have myself. Whole. Complete. Unbroken. Maya and Derek took everything from me once. My trust. My love. My sense of safety in the world. But they couldn't take my talent. My drive. My ability to create something beautiful from the wreckage they left behind. They tried to destroy me. They failed. I'm working on a new collection now. It's called Forgiveness. Not for them. For me. The paintings are softer than the Betrayal collection. Lighter. They're about letting go. About moving on. About finding peace after pain. I'm happy. Really truly happy. For the first time in years. Sometimes people ask me if I regret not confronting Maya and Derek sooner. If I wish I'd screamed at them, made a scene, demanded justice in the moment. I tell them no. Justice isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Patient. Methodical. Sometimes justice is becoming so successful, so undeniable, so completely beyond the reach of the people who hurt you, that their betrayal becomes irrelevant. That's what I did. I didn't just survive Maya and Derek's betrayal. I transcended it. And in the end, that's the best revenge of all. You got exactly what you asked for. And so did I. If you like this story, kindly like, comment and hit the subscribe button for more payback stories.